And we're on the air in 3, 2, 1.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games highlight show. I'm Tim Pogo for Speedy TV. We're in Richmond, Virginia, the host city for this year's games. We've got a full week of coverage coming your way, as there's a lot going on all over the city, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun bringing it to you. Coming up later today, some sights and sounds from the opening ceremonies, plus other activities which took place prior to the start of the competitions, including the official kickoff at the State Capitol building and the expo that went down right here inside the Greater Richmond Convention Center. But first, there's no better person here to give us an overview of and an insight to these games than Bill Lawson. Bill is the president of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, and he spoke this morning at the kickoff launch, which happened right on the steps of the Virginia State Capitol building. And for a man whose time is highly sought after this week, we fortunately had a minute to catch up with him.
You know, the games really are one part competition. They are another part rehabilitation, and yet another part they're an extended family reunion. And I say that in the sense that a lot of these guys, when they come to the wheelchair games, meet other veterans from other parts of the country, and they befriend each other. And all of a sudden, they've got this wonderful friendship built, and they look forward to every year coming back so they can see that buddy of theirs. But the rehabilitation part is really the most important aspect of these games. If it weren't for the adaptive sports and us putting on events such as this, a lot of these new injury people that are coming out would not understand what their abilities really are once they're stricken with a catastrophic disability. And, you know, these games will show somebody that you can do anything you want to do, anything that you used to do. You just might have to sometimes find a different way to do it, but you get it done.
And for over 32 years, well, first of all, talk about the symbolism of that. That's kind of cool that it's back here where it all started, didn't it, in 1981? Yeah,
it's amazing. You know, back in 1981, the very first games, 31 years ago, started right here in Richmond, Virginia. You know, it was just a handful of veterans, and there were 5 events, and that was it. Today it has grown to, there will be over 600 veterans competing this week, and we have 17 medal events. So it's gotten quite popular, and through the years of all this adaptive sports, we're learning more and more and more, and we'll be able to offer more and more venues just to build that confidence for those veterans.
And it seems so far that Richmond's a great host city, right? And excited to have the games back.
Oh yeah, we've been welcomed here with open arms, and it's been great so far. And I know that we're going to have a lot of fans in the stands, you know, from the citizens of Richmond here. So you know, and it's nice to get people out to see us and see the capabilities of these veterans. You know, one of the things I carry a message across the country is that word disability really upsets me. Let's just take the DIS off that and let's look at the abilities. And these games right here today and this week showcase the abilities of these individuals.
But the blazing heat did not stop these athletes, as each one of them completed the slalom course as an exhibition. I caught up with one of them, Rick Messer, right afterwards. How are you enjoying your time in Virginia so far?
It's been awesome. It's a little warm, but you know, I can deal with it.
Yeah, right. Now, this is not your first games, right? You've been to a few?
4th. Okay. This is my 4th.
Okay, excellent. And what events can we look forward to seeing you in?
I'm going to be trap shooting, air rifle, 9-ball pool, and the slalom.
What's your favorite of those? I mean, that's usually, you know, like, you know, people concentrate on one or the other. You guys are doing all kinds of them, so you're multifaceted here, aren't you? Well,
yeah.
What's your favorite?
It's a throw up between the slalom and the trap shooting. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be the slalom. It takes more to do.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, watching you guys on this demonstration course, I'm like, yeah, I'm impressed. Seriously, you guys are in amazing physical shape. That's a good thing. I'm wondering, like, how do you actually train?
All I do is I just I do laps. You know, I don't lift any weights or anything like that. I just get my cardio, and then that's pretty much all I do. And I mean, I'll set up stuff or go to places where I know there's stuff similar to this, you know, hopping curbs, getting up on sidewalks. I practice, you know, in a safe environment, though. It's kind of hard to do on the street edge.
Yeah, during rush hour.
Yeah.
Talk about the first time you were at the games. You know, when you're going in for the first time, you're excited, not really know what to expect.
Oh yeah, I was a nervous wreck. It was in Spokane, Washington, and I hadn't done. It was my first games since my injury. I've been recently injured. I think I was injured a year and a half before I went to my first game, and I was nervous, and I got through everything, and it was like an aha moment. I really figured out what I could and couldn't do, you know, and it pushed me to take it further, and I am what I am today now because of it.
And was that a difficult transition? Was there a moment you're like, well, forget it, you know? But was it was it a difficult thing to just say to yourself, like, well, forget it, man, I'm going for it?
Yeah, it was. I was, and some of the courses, you know, this is very tame compared to what the courses, the real Super G or the real slalom is, and they push you to your limits. And once you get to that point, you know, you're right on the edge, just like the teeter. It's you either go backwards or you go forwards, you know. And I pushed myself, had a lot of encouragement and support, and PVA, you know, it keeps me motivated by giving us opportunities to do stuff like this.
You push forward, and 4 years later, you're here again.
Yep.
Tell us also about, I know because you guys are from all over the country, of course, so is it a great time just to see these guys again every year?
Oh, most definitely. It's a great time to see your friends. A lot of us do other things. We go snow skiing also, and we get to see each other up there, but you know, it's always good to see good friends, and the camaraderie between us, it grows each year. It keeps getting better and better and better, you know.
Yeah, it was a little hot out there today, but it was a picture-perfect morning here in Richmond to get things officially underway. We've got lots more from the opening day of the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games coming right up after this.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We're back with more in the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games highlight show. I'm Tim Pogo, and there's all sorts of things happening around the city of Richmond today as a precursor to the competitions beginning tomorrow, including the Expo, which went down here at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. It's basically where all sorts of companies were showing off the latest and greatest in wheelchair technology. Have a look. I'm with Krieger, who's with the Paralyzed Veterans Sports and Recreation. I'm taking a look at your setup here. You guys do some pretty fun stuff, don't you?
Yeah, this week is really a fun opportunity to allow a large number of disabled veterans to have the opportunity to participate in 17 different events. So there's really not a time throughout the year for them to do that. So 1 week, intense introduction to a lot of opportunities. So hopefully they'll take this experience as an introductory one and use it as a jump board to a lifetime of sports and recreation and fitness and wellness to help rehabilitate.
You guys sort of have things going on, all sorts of activities all over the country all year round, right?
Exactly. I mean, this is just one of the events that we do. We also have probably 50 different other events going on throughout the year. We have anything from the PVA Bass Tour, the PVA National Trap Shoot Circuit. We do a tournament series for bowling and for billiards. And last several years ago, we introduced a hand cycling series that has over 100 participants in it that are participating one-on-one or collectively with the team that go around throughout the United States racing on a weekly basis.
So you guys seem pretty busy, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We really do. And again, it's about offering the newly injured an opportunity to try a sport that he or she may have had some interest in prior to their injury or an interest afterwards, so they can use that activity as a tool in the rehabilitation process to use that to get out into mainstream life and society, so they can go down to the grocery store, go down to the post office, interact with their family or what have you. So again, it's just a springboard into mainstream. But again, it's just using sports and recreation as a tool to aid in the rehabilitation. If you think about it, the people that have traumatic injuries are those risk takers out there, you know, that people who are in the military, they probably stuck their bodies in a situation that they probably shouldn't have been, so they got into a little bit of trouble, maybe had a traumatic injury. So, but now those same type of people are going to be the ones that are going to come back and want to try something like this. So it's full circle.
Ernie, whoa, what do you guys do? All kinds of cool colors and styles, and
you know, we just want to be absolutely out of control. We want to be the West Coast choppers of the wheelchair industry. So
really?
From mild to wild, we can build something that Snoop Dogg would want, or we can build something for somebody's grandmother if they really wanted a chair too.
Really? This is really like Pimp My Ride, isn't it?
This truly is Pimp My Ride. We just basically want to make a tailor-made wheelchair for people that are going to be in these chairs for 10 to 12 hours a day for whatever disabilities they might have acquired, come across, tragic, who knows, whatever we did to end up in a wheelchair. But it's got to fit them, it's got to fit them right, and then from there, we're going to put the aesthetics on top of it. These things are extensions of people now, so they basically want to dress up, they want to dress down. This chair's got to travel along with it.
That's a good point. You know, I mean, for 10 to 12 hours a day, I mean, if something doesn't fit right, I mean, you're going to be screaming at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, you're not going to be happy, not to mention there's other clinical aspects that come out of it, like a properly unfitted wheelchair. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And the last thing that we want to go wrong is more things that are basically have already taken us to different levels. So yeah, going backwards is not where we want to go. A properly fitted wheelchair will take us forward, make us more productive, get out there, contribute to society, enjoy our families, create relationships. You know, the thing this day and age is everybody's all about lightweight. Everybody wants to have a lightweight wheelchair. The people that are using our chairs today versus the people of yesteryear are far more productive. These people are taking these chairs, they're going to school, they're basically going to work, they're rolling from point A to point B. The most important thing is that they're breaking these chairs down, putting them in and out of their cars by themselves. So the whole level of independence really breaks down to the chair. So having a lightweight, properly fitted chair will get them there. So on top of that, I mean, you take the chair that's going to fit them right, you got it lightweight, you dress it up with a little bit of billet that's going on behind me, if you can catch that, it just takes it to a whole different level. Another thing too, actually, that people don't realize is the addition of suspension onto a chair. Suspension for most people, believe it or not, brings a little bit of weight, but the whole clinical aspect of it changes everything. For people that have severe back pain, anybody that's ridden like an old Volkswagen and then traveled a brand new Cadillac, whole different world. Same thing applies to the characteristics of the wheelchair. If you take basically a rigid frame, your body's absorbing all the jarring, all the sidewalks, cracks, the thresholds, everything you're rolling over. Having a little bit of suspension underneath you, kind of creating a cushion underneath your tush, absorbs all that actual jarring. So, you know, the body basically doesn't fatigue, doesn't go into spasms, decreases the chances of back pain. And for people that have acupressure sores, a little bit of movement in the chair creates a little bit of pressure relief. So that basically will help people out in the long run too. So a lot of good things that can come with that, people don't really realize it. So
Ernie told us how they make the chairs and how people come to them and say, hey, here's what I need, and Kaitlyn did just that. So this is your ride, right?
Yep, this is my ride. I made all of this. I just pretty much showed up, fell in love with the chairs, and then they placed my order, and I just told them what wheels I wanted, what colors I wanted, so I put my little accent of white here because white's my favorite color, and I just told them how much dip I wanted, size, everything. I told them how I wanted it, and they put it together for me, and now I'm just as happy as I can be because I'm rolling in the best chair I've ever rolled in ever. So.
And it just looks cool, and you look good in it.
It looks amazing, and I get so many compliments in it, and I just have so much fun rolling out of the house, and it makes going out so much more like amazing because people are like, oh wow, like you have a cool chair and stuff. So I like it. I feel like it makes me a lot more approachable, and just because it's cool and I feel like it fits me.
Now, events like the Expo and, let's face it, the entire week here at these games could never be pulled off without the hard work of a large team of volunteers.
Well, it's a great thing to be able to host the wheelchair games this year, and what more appropriate state than Virginia, which, as you know, has one of the largest populations of veterans. As a Navy veteran myself, you know, I'm amazed at what these guys and women can do on their wheelchairs as far as watching the obstacle course. It's extraordinary that these veterans, fortunately, have had many of them tragic injuries, but continue to work on it, continue to excel, continue to challenge themselves. And the fact that the families are here is really terrific. That shows a broad network of support, and really that we owe these veterans our support. And so that's why our whole office has pledged to come down here and volunteer this week. And so we're all taking shifts at the various activities here. Today I was lucky enough to be at the kickoff, which was terrific. And I think we look forward to the whole week.
Any small number?
Oh, we had over 3,000 volunteers sign up for the wheelchair games as a whole. Yes, they were shooting for 2,500, but 3,000 signed up and it was still going on.
Wow. Does that sort of say something to the people of Virginia? They're like, all right, sign me up. I want to help out.
Yeah, they ran an article in the newspaper and asked for volunteers, and a lot of people in my office signed up. We were all pretty excited, and most people are doing not one day, but up to 8 days. I'm doing 5 events, so it's a pretty awesome experience.
In Richmond, it's been a great host city. Only on our first day, but how cool is it that the games are back to where they originated?
I think it's awesome. I think it says a lot about Richmond that they have come back to where they originated, back to the roots to show everybody how it started.
The volunteers sort of, well, first of all, tell us what you guys got to do. I mean, it's not just standing around pointing, where the venues are or whatever. There's a lot of work to be done, huh?
Yeah, and it all depends on the different events that you're in. Today we were handing out water bottles and ice cold towels because it's blistering heat out here. And then for instance, I have to set up the weightlifting competition, so we have to get in there the night before, set up all the weights and the equipment. Also, we're doing softball and the javelin throw and the field game. So, there's a wide variety of different things that we're going to have to do. But, for the javelin throw and everything, we might have to put blocks for the wheelchairs and then get the javelins, hand people water, help people in and out of the buses to the airport. There's a lot of work that goes in, and the VA has done a great job of organizing everyone and getting everyone out here so that everything's covered and the athletes feel really comfortable.
And look, here they are. They're still hard at work long after everyone else has gone running for the hills. All right, we still have more to come today for you on the opening day of the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Hang on.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games.
Sportscasters sometimes are carried away by the excitement of the moment.
A service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We're back with more of the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games highlight show on Speedy TV. We're inside the Greater Richmond Convention Center, which a lot of the events are happening right here, including the opening ceremonies, which just took place. Let's take a look inside. Well, I want to talk to you guys because you guys are two of the originals, right? 1981, you were there at the first Veterans Wheelchair Games, huh?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, we went to the first wheelchair games back in 1981, and it's been, 31 years.
Now, have you guys been coming every year since then?
Jimmy has.
You have? Every time?
I've made 31 games. I missed 1 year because of surgery. I tried to talk my doctor and let me go that year just to shoot pool, do something before I wouldn't, miss any, but health came first. And I'm very proud to make 31 years.
Well, just slide on that one. You tried at least, right?
Yes, I did try.
What can you say, though, if you think back to those days and to now, how has this event changed?
Well, it was an awesome event, even back in 1981. Tom Brown was in town, a rec therapist at the VA, and he and I were co-workers. He had the most experience in wheelchair sports. He came out of the University of Illinois and was the best of the best of the best of basketball, and also the wheelchair obstacle course. And we did not invent wheelchair sports. We developed wheelchair sports in the state of Virginia, and we would bring annually 4, 5, 6 new injuries to the event. And over a period of time, we found out that those that we brought spent less time in the medical center, used less physician time, less nurses' time, less nurses' aid. They were feeding themselves, they were dressing themselves, putting on their shoes, things like that. And the big question was, why are these guys doing it and the others aren't? And these are wheelchair sports. Wow. So a group got together and thought, well, maybe we should have our own National Wheelchair Veterans Games. And it was International Year of the Disabled Person. And so we went to Woodrow Wilson and borrowed as much as we could from them. And they were the officials. We developed our own committees. And Mrs. Barber, bless her heart, she's not with us anymore. But she truly, if there was a mother of wheelchair sports, it is her. She pushed everything through, got everything organized. Her committees were just absolutely superb. And so we had the very first National Veterans Wheelchair Games, and other medical center directors and others were here, and they saw the change. And said, we're going to have it next year. And so Milwaukee got the bid for next year, and Long Beach already had a bid in for the year after that, and Boston had a bid in, and from there it grew and just pushed across the country, and now it's back in Richmond.
So we met some of the original guys, and also at the games this year, and every year there's always some rookies, and Mason here is one of them. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm well, man. First of all, where are you from, and what are you competing in?
I'm from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. We're considered the Sticks. One red light in my town, and at 12 o'clock it blinks yellow. Basically, I'm here competing in 5 sports. It's my first time here. I've never been here before. It's exhilarating. Seeing the brotherhood and camaraderie is something special. I've never experienced anything like this in my life.
What did you think coming into it? Like, what were you envisioning, and were you like nervous at all, or coming into it, what did you think? And now, what do you think? Now you're here. What do you think?
Well, it kind of worked out because I've been training for wheelchair rugby. My goal is to make the Paralympic team for the U.S. So I train every day. I push between 2 miles to 6 miles a day, or every other day. I work on my drills, so this kind of just came in perfect. I was actually introduced this to Paralyzed Veterans of America, Fabio. He introduced it to me. He told me it'd be a great opportunity for me to meet some of my competition, and he's like, you can do other sports as well. So I heard about the other sports, and I was like, I'm in. So I'm a competitor. I love competing. And against brothers, it makes it even better.
There's so much of that going on.
Was there ever a moment after you got injured? Did you know right away, oh yeah, I'm doing this, man?
No. I was in a motorcycle accident, actually. My back wheel slid out, front wheel hit a pothole, I went into mailboxes, I was in a coma for 4 weeks. I was in recovery for about 2 years. I laid in bed, I didn't do anything, and all of a sudden it just clicked in my head that this wasn't my life, I needed to do something else, and then ever since then I've been training for rugby. And that was about 7 months ago when I started living on my own now, I do everything on my own. So, yeah, I didn't even know the veteran games existed then.
And that'll do it for day 1 of the 32nd National Veterans Wheelchair Games highlight show here on Speedy TV. Now join us tomorrow because the actual events get going then. We'll be at them. We'll talk about what's going on. We'll get other highlights and interview some of the athletes as well. So join us then.
Speedy TV, live from the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.